Hello, space friends. I'm Kshal Aideron, and you've just landed on Voices of New Eden. Last week, we heard from Sturgis, who's been playing the game for about 4.5 years. This week, we're going to go and reduce the time just a little bit, and you're going to be hearing from an industry player who's been in the game for about a year. You're going to learn who he is, why he started playing, what community he's part of, and his pain points as a new player. Let's get into it. Who are you, and why Eve?
Right. My name is Chimeries, Kai for short. I started playing Eve in December of 2023 during the winter event. The reason I kind of started playing the game was at the time I was playing World of Warcraft, getting a bit bored of the game and looking for something to nerd out over. And what better way to nerd out than Eve, a space game that's got a lot of depth into it. Um, and yeah, I climbed into the game quite early into December 2023. Um, Found a love and interest in the industry side of life. Joined a small industry corp back then, and then I started mining and building my own stuff. And from there, I kind of started exploring in wormhole space while chasing gas and huffing gas in wormhole space. And when I started searching around for other people that had similar interests, I stumbled on House of the Shattered Sun, Zephyr and the gang doing mining in deep space, and that caught my interest. And to this day, I'm a wormholer and an industrialist, and I've been growing my little empire as I go, and just really nerding out on the industrial side of this game. From there, I've also grown a bit into kind of Eve rookies as a community that was attached to House of the Shattered Sun at the time, and I started exploring different parts of Eve and what else it had to offer. And I have a little bit of fun outside of my normal hobby of industry. I jump in and do a couple home front sites with some mates, do some incursion with some friends, and every now and again yeet out and shoot some null people, much to their disapproval, or join Bombers Bar, which is the most recent activity I've started. Also going to go shoot a couple people in null. They really don't like me by now. um, but yeah, no, I've got a small little industry I've set up on manufacturing fuel and supplying fuel into wormhole systems, primarily the Freeport Worm Life community, where I'm part of the ops team, and we supply quite a few of the wormholes with fuel and anything else they may need at the time. So yeah, that's my little story, my little catch of the space, and where I normally sit and have fun. Um, yeah.
Tell more about your community.
Yep. So going into a bit more into what do we do with the communities, in the Eve Rookies community, where I play. Currently, I'm a FC for the community. I run high sec mining once a week, and then 2 to 3 times, or 1 to 2 times a week, I do home fronts as well that we run for the community. We've started setting up the home fronts a couple of weeks ago, which has been quite fun. Been building Nubro friendly stashes. We started with a Mar. We're going to be branching off into Galantis space and shortly after Midmatar space. It's been a nice little adventure. We've reached out to Homefront Communities, which is another community group, also focused around Homefronts. They've been quite a bit of help. I've got a bit of feedback and some input from the guys on that side. They're also very keen to hopefully soon join forces with us and we can start pinging fleets together, which is quite exciting. We've also got a bit of interesting concepts that we're going to be bringing through. Some new concepts we want to try in home fronts, which we will obviously launch as soon as they're ready to be launched. Then another thing we do, or part of, like I said earlier in Eve Rookies, is we do high-sec mining. So the corporation that was started, which is Eve Rookies Industries, we're based out of Derelict Space, currently in Galhan. We do a lot of ice mining and mood mining with the other communities in the area. So we've reached out and met a few friends in the local community, and we do a lot of co-op mining, and we've made some good strides in the last couple of weeks there. We're also doing a lot to build our own infrastructure, which is more of a community project that we're doing, which is quite fun. We currently got some projects doing PI and mining, so we're building our own structures that we're going to be putting down soon. Then we're also going to be building our own freighters to haul all of our mining exploits out to trade. So that's quite a nice little entertaining community project we got going. Obviously, anyone and everyone is welcome into that. They must let us know in the community that they're interested, and we will show them where to meet up with us and how to meet up with us. Then the other communities that I'm part of is, like I said, there's Worm Life Freeports. It's a community that has Freeport structures out in wormhole space. That's open to the community. The biggest thing there is there's a no shoot policy in the wormhole. You can obviously hunt down the stream, but it's a safe haven for the pirates and the solo players and the small corps that want to get into wormhole life, which is quite a nice step for them. There's obviously a bit of a Freeport militia, so if you're interested in a bit of wormhole PvP and defense structures, you can always sign up for the free militia team, which is quite a nice group of ragtag individuals that go out and defend Wormlife Freeports against any bullies that come around, which is always quite fun. And then the only other community I'm really part of is our own little wormhole corp, which is House of the Shattered Sun. It's a very industrial based corp. We're based in a C2 with a C1 and a high sec static, and we do a lot of PI manufacturing, closing off the wormholes and mining. We also invite the open fleet community in every Saturday for deep space mining community event. And then people can come in and experience what wormhole industry life is like. We do have a couple of the community people that base some PI characters and industrial characters from our wormhole, and they're all more than welcome to come through. The only thing we ask for is if someone shoots at the station, you help defend the station, which is a fair cost. And that's pretty much a bit more in depth on the communities and the main community I'm a part of.
What is a personal pain point in Eve?
A big personal pain point for me, and it's because I'm still fairly new to the game, is the incredibly large gap between me as a player and a lot of the more experienced players in the game. And to give you an example, we've just finished the harvest event, and as a fairly new player, I still don't have access to paladins and the more advanced battleships out there. and I would go into a high sec site myself in my battleship, and I would be doing the site, and some person in his Kronos and his Paladin would come into my site, take the site, over out DPS me, take all my loot, and without any consequences leave me in the dust, which I find is quite infuriating as a newer player. Um, Luckily, I've got other means and ways to make a living. But if I was doing dead sites and all these higher sites, and I had advanced players always stealing my sites from me, it would make my life quite difficult. But that's my biggest gripe, is how much of a gap there is between myself and someone who's been playing for 10 years.
How should CCP solve this problem?
That's a very difficult one to do, because how do you take away someone's 10 years worth of effort for my 1 year's worth of efforts at the same time? So as much as it's a gripe for me, I don't know how to entirely fix that without almost nerfing the top end ships and bringing up the lower end ships to be a bit closer to each other. The only problem with that is, I mean, how do you justify someone that's been, you know, training his SP for the last 10 years? But at the same time, as a new bro, there's no way for me to fix that. There's no way for me to get past that, besides outliving those people in the game for the next 10 years. But no, the only way I've been able to get personally a edge over a lot of these people is by pretty much multi-boxing. So any way I can generally hold my own in this early industry. I know it's a bit of a curse word in the game, but that's the only way for me to hold my own and get to where I am now. Is
Any last words?
one of the biggest things that helped me early on in this game, and what I want people that are fairly new or even experienced in the game is to do, is find a community, find a tribe that vibes with you. Don't get stuck in nullsec being just a number. Don't get stuck, mining on your own. Don't get stuck trying to do all the sites on your own. Join a community, find some friends, because it's always better undocking with friends, even when you're doing the mundane, boring stuff like mining. I wouldn't mine on my own. I don't like mining on my own, but I really do enjoy undocking and mining with, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 20 other souls that are in your community. So if I could give any advice to anyone, is don't try and do this game solo. Find your tribe, find the people you vibe with, and it'll make the games 100 times better for you.
Thank you for sticking through another episode of Voice New Eden. It means a lot to me to be able to give players a platform to share their EVE story, because they're part of our world and content no matter how they choose to play. Think about it. Without miners and industrialists, we wouldn't have ships. If there's no ships, there's very little reason to undock. We all have a part to play, no matter how big, how small, space famous, or unknown. If you like the idea of Voices in New Eden, I'd love to feature you on a future episode. You can do it with or without a cam, pre-recorded, or talking to me in an interview. I'll even take written stories that we can read out loud. If you're interested, you can comment below or leave me an email. Please feel free to share these videos with your corporation and alliance mates, and consider giving the video a thumbs up and a channel subscribe. You wouldn't want to miss an episode after all. Until next time, this is Kshal Aideron signing off with Voices in New Eden.